Hi, today we are going to show you how to install our Ferrari 458 instrument cluster display on a 458 instrument cluster. So first of all, let's test the instrument cluster. We have our platform, so we just connect and we can see here we have the display working. So we're going to replace this one. Okay, when removing the display, first of all, pay attention to this area over here, and this area over here, and this area over here. Those plastics, you can fit a small screwdriver like this one. First, try to pull from this side, and use also another screwdriver, or use your finger like I'm doing. Then insert screwdriver over here, and slightly pull. And you can slowly remove it. Don't use too much strength because otherwise you will damage the plastic. But it's not too difficult. Once you see that it starts to move out, just pull it. As you see, this is the connector we have over here. Keep in mind this connector may have damage, especially if you have water damage inside the car. This may be one of the problems that bleeds it to a broken cluster. So maybe you will need to clean these contacts as well. Over here, there will be the same issue. So before replacing the display, make sure you check those two things first, especially if you already tried to replace the display and nothing happened. So next step is to fit our display inside this case. So we need first to remove the case. And that's it. In total we have 4 screws, 1, 2, 3 and 4. After remove this part, we need to pay attention here. This white case is what helps us to have a separation between the metal over here and the PCB. So it's super important to remember because it has no screws, so it's easy that it moves on its own after you connect it. Let's put it aside for now. And then we disconnect the main control board from the display. Then we can just replace the display. So in order to do that, you check carefully here in the connector. You just pull both of these two, and then it will click out. And then you can just disconnect. Don't need to disconnect also the other side, especially because you will notice there is a number here, 12 and 47. And here there is also number 40 and F1, at least looks so. 04 and F1. If you misplace it, you will break the display. So disconnect only one side is the best idea. Now the next step is to remove the cover over here because we will need it. So first of all, let's use again a screwdriver to remove the last 2 screws. Okay, so next step is to remove the encasing. So notice here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. We need to pull it from over here so it gradually disconnects. Okay, we got 1 point, 2 points. Now it will be easy, just need to give it some time. Okay. Now, this control board over here, we also need to use it with a new display. So first of all, we disconnect this connector over here. Here is the same logic like before, but this connector works differently. You need to pull this brown part sorry, this black part, You need to pull this black part like this, and then you can remove the wire. But there is also another one over here, so we need to remove this one as well first. This one is quite easy. Okay, done. Now it will be easy to separate it from the wire. Okay, done. So we put everything on the side, and then this is the display from the car. We put it back here. Now we compare it with our original display. So as you see, this one has one connector here and one connector here. Ours has also two connectors here. Okay, so now next step is to consider one different point between the original and the aftermarket. The aftermarket has a strip of the adhesive. It will make it easier to install it. For this time we are not going to use it, but keep in mind that this will help you when you're making the installation. Let's make it without it now. So let's reinstall everything, just we are going to use our own display instead. So first of all, it's this module. Just like last time, we removed it. We started from this connector. We started from this small connector, right? So we first connect the big one. Make sure it is perfectly fitting, and then close it. Then do the same with this one. See, if you don't make it go inside, it will not connect, so you need to pay attention. Okay, those two are both connected now, so in theory the tape should help us to not let it move here. But we are going to be fine also like this. The first thing we need to reinstall is this connector and then this connector on the Supercar Expert display. And then over here in the back we have the B-adhesive tape, but in this moment we are not going to use it, but it will help you later. So next step is to start to install the cover. You need to make sure the cover, the back of the cover, can install inside the front of the cover. And then you should make sure that the screws match here. 1, 2, with 1, 2. That's where the bi-adhesive is very useful. Then we start to reinstall the smallest screws. Next step is to install these two. There are no screws here, but this thing tends to move a lot, so be careful. Probably easier to first connect this. Make sure both sides are connected properly, and then use 2 fingers to close from both sides. Okay, it doesn't move, should be okay. Now next step is to close. Make sure you can see the holes entirely, so that means you matched it properly. And then it's time to insert the last side closure. So this is how it looks after, and we need to install the screws. Okay, now we finished it, and we are going to connect the golden connector over here. So we need to, when we install, we just let it slowly go down like this, and then we push it from all sides like this. Okay, should be okay. Let's see if it works. And it works. The installation on the other side is exactly the same. On each car model it's similar. Just pay attention. Sometimes in the right side you will have some extra stuff to care about when you dismantle the cluster. But in terms of removing the display, this part is exactly the same for all clusters.